Now we are looking at decimal addition and subtraction 3, page 1. So we're going to start off with letter A. So letter A says 1 and 32 hundredths plus 2 and 93 hundredths equals to what? Well, I have these two figures right here that we can show and demonstrate. So far I can already know that I have 1, 2, 3 whole numbers, and I have one partial and one partial. So we want to see how we would do if we combine. So first off, let's start by figuring this out. I'm going to try to use my base 10 blocks that are here. So I can see that this one is partially covered, but I have one hole here, another one here, another one here. And I need to look right here. So this is going to be 91, 92, 93. How many more do I need to make one whole flat? Well, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 7 more. So I'm going to use this one right here to see if I can fill in at least 7 more. So let's try. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have enough. So I'm going to put these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do have enough to make another hole. So here, if I'm just looking at this, I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 2500. So 4 and 2500. Now, let's test it using our table. So I have my ones place, my decimal point, my tenths, and hundredths. I'm going to start off by drawing first. So how many flats do I have? Well, here I have one flat. I have 3 rods. 1, 2, 3. And I have 2 units. 1, 2. Now I'm going to look at adding 2 flats. So I'm going to go here because I have 2 holes. So here's 2 flats. I have 9 rods. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I have 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Now this right here is my decision-making area. I'm going to bring everything down and see if we can regroup. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have 3 units and 2 units. So I'm going to be adding 2 plus 3. So I'll be having 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So how many units will I have total? That's right, I'll be having 5. Is this enough to be making a rod? Remember, I need 10 units to make one rod, and I only have 5. So is this enough? No. So I am going to stick with my 5 units. Now let's go ahead and start with our tenths. So I have 3, and then here I am going to have 9. So this is going to be 3 plus 9. So I'm going to start off with my rods. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, how many do I need to make a flat? I need 10, so let's see if we have enough. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12. How many do I need to make one flat? That's right, I need 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how many do I have left over? I'll only be having 2. So this right here is going to be another flat. And this becomes a 2. Because I will have these 2 right here. Now let's look at our flats. I have 1 plus 2. So I'm going to have 1 plus 2. But I also can't forget this other flat here. So it's another plus 1. So I have 1, another 2, and then my 1 that I'm bringing down. So how many flats do I have in all? That's right, I have 4. And when I am adding decimals, if I see my decimal here, I need to put it right underneath. It is lining them up. So what is my answer? 4 and 2500ths. Now let's try this way. I'm going to have 1 and 32 hundredths plus 2 and 93 hundredths. Remember, lining up my numbers. This is my hundredths. my tenths, and my ones and my decimal point. Can we see that they are lined up? Yes, I need to even put another decimal point right there for my answer. So let's start off. 2 plus 3 is 5. 9 plus 3 is 12. So I put my 2 here, carry the 1. That's exactly what I did. I got my 10, made it in a flat, and I had 2 left over. So it's matching perfectly. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I have 4 and 25 hundredths. So this should say 4 and 25 hundredths. Now let's look at letter B. I have 2 and 6 tenths plus 1 and 3 tenths. So I'm going to look here. I have how many flats so far? Well, I have 1, another one, another one. So here I am going to look here because this is the one that is close to being filled up compared to this one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 here. So let's see, how many more do I need to make it to a full 10? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 4 more. This one only has 3. So do you think I'll be able to have enough to make into a flat? Right now, I do not think so. So I'm going to, right now, going to say that it's going to be 3, and because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll be moving these here, these 3, and it'll be 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm thinking it's going to be 3 and 9 tenths. But let's check that out with our place value. So I have my ones place, my decimal point, tenths, and hundredths. Let me go ahead and continue here. So again, I'm going to do my drawings. I have 2 and 6 tenths. So that means I have 2 flats. And I have 6 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have no hundredths. So then I'm going to go on to the next one. I am adding 1 and 3 tenths. So I'm going to put 1 and 3 tenths here. Now I'm going to again go into my decision making. Right here is where I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to decide whether I'm going to regroup or not. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start off with our tenths. So I'm going to combine everything. I have how many here? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm doing 6 plus 3. So how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9. Is this enough to make it to a flat? Remember, I need 10 rods to make one flat. So do I have enough? Nope, I have 9. So this is going to stay right here. Now next, I'm going to look at my flats. I have 2 flats here, so I have 1, 2, and I'm going to add another one here, so I'm going to have 2 plus 1. Now what is 2 plus 1? 3. So I'm going to bring this down, and this is a 3. Am I done here? Do I just stop here? Is my answer 39? No, I cannot forget to bring down that decimal. Line it up. This is very important. We both know there's a big difference between $3.90 and $39. So we want to make sure we have the exact point there. Now let's set it up like this. I have 2 and 6 tenths, and I'm going to be adding 1 and 3 tenths. So again, we go here, 6, 7, 8, 9. I bring down my decimal point because it is supposed to be lined up. 2 plus 1 is 3. Did I get the same thing throughout? Yes, so I can use any of these ways to solve that answer. Here it is 3 and 9 tenths. Now here for letter C, I'm going to go ahead and color it in myself. So I have 2 and 3 tenths, and I'm taking away 4 tenths. So I'm going to start off by shading in my 2 and 3 tenths. Like magic, I shaded it all in, and then I'm going to be taking away. So here it says how much do I have to take away? Well, it's telling me I have to take away 4 tenths. So I'm going to use the color blue as a way of showing that I'm taking away 4 tenths. So I'm going to start off here. I have 1 tenth that I'm shading, taking that away. Going to take off another 1 tenth. Then I'm going to take another. So how many have I taken away so far? That's right, I've taken away 3/10, and I need to take away 4. So how many more do I have to take away? 1 more. So I'm going to look here, and I'm actually going to erase what I have already turned blue. Okay, now that I have erased it or taken it away, I'm going to look at what I do have. So based off what I do have, I for sure know that I have 1 whole. So I have 1, and I only have 9/10, and this is part of a whole, so I know that this is a decimal. So far, I think I'm going to have 1 and 9/10 left over. Again, I can try this by using my place value map. So I'll start off again. I'm having ones, tenths, hundredths, and I'm going to start off by drawing. So again, same process. I'm going to draw my 2 and 3/10. So I start off with having 2 flats. So I'm going 1, 2. I have 3/10 or 3 rods. So 1, 2, 3, and no hundredths. Now, instead of it being my decision making on the third, I am having my decision making come here on the second, because here is where I will take away. So again, I start off with my lowest place value. So here I have 4/10. So here I have to take away how many? 4. So I'm going to write down my 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let me try this again. So again, I have 3. I'll put down 1, 2, 3. And I need to take a flat. I need to borrow because I do not have enough to take away how many? 4. So I'm going to add another 10 to that. So I have 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 there. Now, how many do I need to take away? I need to take away 4. So I'm taking away 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many do I have left? Let's check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to have 9 left over. Now here, since I no longer have a flat, and I don't have anything to take away, I am just going to bring it home. So I here have 1, bring down my decimal point to line up, 9/10. So now let's start this way. So 2 and 3/10, and I'm subtracting 4/10. 3 minus 4, do I have enough to take away 4 from 3? No, I do not. So I have to borrow. This becomes a 1 and this becomes a 13, just how as I did here. 13 minus 4 is 9. Bring down my decimal just as it's lined up. 1 minus 0 is just 1. So again, I end up having 1 and 9/10. Now for this next one, I have 3 and I'm going to take away 1 and 2800. So I'm going to go ahead and shade it in now. So now I have my 3 wholes and I need to take away 1 whole and 2800. So let me go ahead and do that with you. I do have this fancy nice eraser. So I'm going to try to erase this 1 whole because it told me I have to take away 1 whole. So I'm taking away 1 whole. Perfect. I have 1 taken away. Now it also says I have to make sure I do what? Take away how many rods? Okay, I have to take away 2 rods. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. So this is 1 rod, and this is another rod. Now I have to do another thing. I've already taken 1 whole and 2 rods. I need to take away how many units? 8. Let's try that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's how I'm going to keep it, 7, 8. So now how much do I have left over? Well, I have 1 whole. 1 whole. And then I'm going to look here and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hundredths or 7, tenths or 7 rods and then 2 hundredths or 2 units. So that using this is how I discovered my answer. Now I can also use our place value method that we have been using. So again, same process. I have ones, tenths, hundredths, And I'm going to draw out what I need. So here it says I have 3 flats. So I'm going to draw my 3 flats. 1, 2, 3. And I need to take away 1 and 28 hundredths. Okay, so remember, right here, this section is my decision making. So here are my hundreds. I need to take away 8 from hundreds. Do I have any 8s here? Nope. So I got to go borrow from my neighbor. But I don't have anything here in my neighbors either. So I have to go again to my other neighbors, and I'm going to go ahead and take this flat. So I'm going to take this flat, I'm going to bring it over here, which is going to have how many rods? That's right, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can now borrow one of my rods. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So now can I take away 8 from these 10? Oh yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to draw my 10 units again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I need to take away 8. So I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many do I have left over? I have 2 units. This will be the number 2. Now let's look here. How many do I have to take away from my 10? I have to take away 2. So I'm going to draw in my 9. Remember, we already used one of them to go to my hundreds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have to take away 2. So I'm taking away 1, 2. Now how many do I have left over? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I now have my 7 rods. Now here, I have to take away 1 flat. So I have 2 here. I have 1, 2. And I need to take away how many? That's right, 1. So now that I take away 1, how many do I have left over? Just 1 flat. So this is just 1. And remember, I have my display point here. I have to line it up. 72 hundredths. I can also do this by doing 3. And I'm going to subtract 1 and 28 hundredths. Again, the same process. I have nothing to take away 8 from. So I have to borrow from my neighbor. My neighbor doesn't have anything to give, so I have to go on to my next neighbor. Here, I make it to 2, just how I have 2 rods here. And then I have to make this into a 10, just like I did here. I had 10 rods. Now that I have my 10 rods, I can use 1 rod to create units. So I'm going to take from here again, which then becomes 9, just like I have here. And this will become 10, just as I have 10 units. Now, can I take away 8 from 10? Oh, yeah, so 8 minus 10 is, or 10 minus 8, sorry, is 2. I have 9 minus 2. What is 9 minus 2? 7. Cannot forget to bring down my decimal right here. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So again, I have 1 and 72 hundredths, 1 and 72 hundredths, 1 and 72 hundredths, so this is my answer. So now I'm going to be looking at letter E. So I'm on decimal addition and subtraction, page 3. So it says the table below shows the rainfall amount of 3 months during the year of 2014 and 2015. What was the difference between the amounts of rainfall in April during the 2 years? So again, we're finding our difference. When we find difference, that means we're going to be comparing, which means we're going to be subtracting. And we're only going to focus on the month of April. So let's look at April. So I'm going to start off by writing my place value mat, my tenths and hundredths. And again, I have to make sure that everything is aligned. So I'm going to start off with 7. So I know that's a whole number. So I have 7 and 0 tenths and 0 hundredths. My next one is April, which is again 4 and 9 tenths. So I'm going to write my decimal again. This is 4 and 9 tenths or 90 hundredths. I'm also going to put my decimal here because I need my decimals to line up on the time. It is very important to have all your numbers lined up. So I'm going to start here. 0 minus 0. This would just be 0. I will then take 9 away from 0, and is that a possibility? No, it is not a possibility, so this becomes a 6, and then this becomes a 10. Remember, this has 7 flats. This has no rods, but I need to take away 9 rods, so I borrow one of the flats. And how many rods are in a flat? 10. 9 minus 10 is equal to, well, 10 minus 9, sorry. 10 minus 9 is equal to 1. Now I have 6 minus 4. What is 6 minus 4? I have 2. So I look here and I look at my answer choices. So this can be written as 2 and 1/10 or 2 and 10 hundredths. So let's look at this. I have 3 and 9/10. Nope. 3 and 1/10. Nope. 11 and 9/10. Nope. Lastly, 2 and 1/10. Yes, that matches what I have here. D is my answer. Now here it is saying, what is the total amount of rainfall during the 3 months in 2014? So my 3 months would be March, April, and May. But I'm only looking at 2014, so I'm only looking right here. So I'm going to start by lining up my numbers. First step, line up my numbers. Line up my numbers. Very important to line up my numbers. So let's start. I'm going to start with my first month in 2014, and that was March. So I'm going to start off by, this is my ones, tenths, hundredths. And I'm going to start off with 5. I have 5 wholes, 5 ones, and 2 tenths. April, I have 7 and 0 tenths. And then lastly, I have 3 and 77 hundredths. So here I have missing gaps. So here's where I'm going to put my ghost 0 because it still belongs there. We do not see it. So now my 0. So I'm going to be, it says I will find the total amount. So finding my total amount, that means I am adding. So I'm going to start off with my hundreds just like we normally do, but I want you to recognize how I have my decimals all lined up. So I'm already going to go ahead and put my decimal point there. So let's start. 0 plus 0 plus 7, I get 7. 2 plus 7, 7, 8, 9. Then I am going to 5 plus 7 plus 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 7 would be 15. So I have 15 and 97 hundredths. Now, let's see if we made a mistake. So if we had made a mistake, and let's say I did not order my numbers correctly, what if I had written my numbers like this? Which is a possibility, correct? I could have made a mistake and put the 7 wholes into 7 tenths, and that would have been an easy mistake. So let's go ahead and add them and see if we get the same answer. I get 7, 14, 15, 16, plus 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is this the same amount as what I have here? No. So lining up my answers is very important. So I've got to line up that decimal. So my letter is F. So this one says, how much more did it rain in May of 2015 than in May of 2014? So I am comparing. So how much more did it rain in May of 2015 and May of 2014? So I'm comparing the two. So if I'm comparing, that means I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to look at May of 2014 and May of 2015. Remember, when we subtract, our larger number goes on top. So looking at both of my numbers, I can already make an assumption that 2015 is greater. Let's go ahead and write that down. So I'm going to start off by lining up my numbers. Again, I have my 1/10, 100ths. So here I am going to compare. I have 6 and 1/10, so I have 6 whole numbers, my decimal here, and 1/10. And then I have 3 and 77 hundredths. Again, I have a missing gap, so I have to fill that gap with a 0. And here, since I'm comparing, I have to subtract. Since I already know I'm going to get an answer with a decimal, I need to make sure I put my decimal line already there. My decimal should be all lined up. Can I take away 7 from 0? No, I can't, so I have to borrow. This becomes a 0, and this becomes a 10. I can now take away 7 from 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. Can I take away 7 from 0 again? No, I have to borrow. This becomes a 5, and then this becomes a 10. 10 minus 7, again, that is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So now that I already have my decimal place there, I can already tell that it is going to be 2 and 33 hundredths. Remember, this subtracting is the same process we do in 3rd grade, 4th grade, any grade. All the differences, we have to make sure we line up our decimals and our place value, and that is important. So C should be my answer. Now let's look at H. It says the table shows the difference traveled by 4 car models car competition. What is the difference in meters between the distance traveled by car Z and the distance traveled by car W? So again, I need to underline my question and I need to circle key information that's going to help me. So I am going to find the difference between two cars. This is going to be car Z and car W. So difference always means to subtract. So I'm doing car Z. This is car Z and car W. If I'm finding the difference, I have to subtract, and that means I have to find my larger number. So between 7 and 4/10 and 9 and 25 hundredths, I know Z is larger. So I'm going to start out the same way. Ones, tenths, hundredths. And I'm going to go ahead and write my numbers down. So I have 9 wholes for my decimal, 25 hundredths. Then I have my 7 and 4/10 with my ghost 0. And I'm going to be subtracting. Remember, I already know I have to have a decimal point, so I'm going to already draw it under the same point as my decimals above. So let's go ahead and start. 0 minus 5. I'm taking away nothing from 5. That still stays as 5. I'm taking away 4 from 2. Is that a possibility? Can I do that? No. So I have to borrow. This then becomes an 8. This then becomes a 12. 12 take away 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is 8. And I now have 8 minus 7, and this should be 1. So I have an answer of 1 and 85 hundredths, and that would be letter H. Now we're going to move on to letter I. It says Nikolai bought 1 necklace and 2 bracelets at a jewelry. The necklace cost $19.54 and the bracelet cost $13.77 each. What was the total cost of the 3 items that Nikolai bought? So let's look here. I have bought 1 necklace, 2 bracelets at the jewelry. The necklace cost this much, so let's go ahead and write that down. Going to go ahead and underline my question. What was the total cost of the the items. So I have one necklace, and that is the cost of $19.54. And then I have also bought two bracelets. So I'm going to get two bracelets. So I know that there are two, and they are both how much? Well, one is $13.77. So how am I going to do this? How am I going to write this down? Well, let's go ahead and compare, because we are going to find a total, and total means to add. So I have $19.54, and I'm going to do, this is my tens, ones, my decimal point, tenths, and hundredths. And now I'm going to be adding my one bracelet, and one bracelet was $13.77. Now, do I stop there? Because this right here, I know that this is my necklace. This is a bracelet. But is that all I have to combine? Well, I know about how many bracelets? Two. So I can't just put one bracelet. I also have to include another bracelet. So this is another $13.77. So this is for my other bracelet. So I'm going to be adding these together. And I know I'm going to have a decimal at the end, so I'm already going to put my decimal point, and I want you to notice that they are all lined up. So let's start. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 4 is 8. Again, 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 5 should be, oh, sorry, my bad. 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 is 18, so I have to go ahead and add one here. I almost forgot that little mistake. So again, 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 5 will be 19, plus 1 will be 20, so I have a 0, and I carry my 2. So then I'm going to have 9 plus 3 plus 3, well 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 9 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Now I'm going to look at my tens place, and I have 1 plus 1 plus 1, and that's 3, plus another 1, and that is 4. So here it should be $47.08. This should be the total amount.